fast, eat ass. Keith Lee is my spirit animal. It's going to be called Turban Warfare.
Now listen, you know what to do. Send me in the comments. Print it out.
Eddie keeps saying he wants to eat my ass. We'll grab a spoon, mate, and taste some class.
But Sam's just been hit with a spoonful of truth. Bitch.
Suck a shit, pal.
Welcome to the After Party Hangover. I'm your host, Mangria Fueled, and welcome to the Matt Taven Appreciation episode. Now, this all began with my New Year's resolution, the only one I'm actually following through on, and it doesn't involve exercise, so it's a pretty good bet that I'm going to finish it. My New Year's resolution was to get to know the wrestler Matt Taven, because he received such high praise in the Steel Row After Party. So I've asked two of his biggest fans, PeterWayneKent and Andi with an I, to join me to talk some Taven. So we have to start this proper, of course. Hold on a second. I have it set up here. Weighing in at 219 pounds. He stands 6'2", from Boston, Massachusetts. Matt Taven. Alrighty, PeterWayneKent. How did you get to know Matt Taven? How did you discover him? And why are you such a big fan of his?
Well, I got my son with me right here. Let's call him H Triple so we don't get sued.
What's going on, H Triple?
He's nervous.
Now, don't be nervous. It's just a internet radio show. You can say whatever you want that your dad allows you to say.
Okay, so the way we met Matt Taven was at the 2018 Ring of Honor
Anniversary show.
Yes, and the way we met him was I wanted to see Matt Taven, the Briscoes, and Marty Scurll.
No, at the anniversary show, it's the first show we went to for his birthday. It was the anniversary show, the first anniversary show we went to. We were all Bullet Clubbed out. We were voting for the Bullet Club because this is when Matt Taven sold Cody's ring. And we went to the merch table, and they had Matt Taven, the Horror King, and not Vinny, the third guy. I can't think of his name right now because he changed his name to El Americano on wrestling. And they were selling merch, and Hunter's wearing a Villain Enterprises shirt, and Vinny goes, Why don't you like us? I got an axe. An axe will do more damage than an umbrella. And TK O'Ryan, that's his name. TK O'Ryan said, yeah, my baseball bat will do more damage than the umbrella too. Why don't you like us? So it was a cool interaction. That was our first meeting with Matt Taven. We knew about the Bullet Club. That's the reason we went to the Ring of Honor event. And then I knew about the Bullet Club. I was watching it, and Matt Taven stood out, so I started liking the Kingdom more than the Bullet Club over a Ring of Honor. So I bought me a Kingdom Conspiracy shirt that I'm wearing right now. And I was always trying to do sweet my son when I was wearing the shirt, he'd get mad at me because he was still pro Bullet Club only. And I was switching sides.
So Vinny is the Horror King?
Yeah, I like him too. He's cool because I like horror movies, and he's a pretty cool character. And then he turned on Matt Taven too. So
I just saw that promo. I'm on YouTube just jumping down a rabbit hole of Matt Taven, and I saw the Vincent versus Taven final battle video package. It was very impressive. Vinny actually hit him with an axe?
Yep.
Oh my God, that dude earned his paycheck that night.
Oh, Matt Taven was talking about that on his podcast also.
Can you tell me what the Kingdom Conspiracy means? Like, what's the behind that saying?
It's always them getting screwed out of title opportunities. Like when Matt Taven was the guy trying to go for the title, the rest of the kingdom couldn't be there with him, so he started calling it a Kingdom Conspiracy. That they weren't allowed there. And for one of the events, the Supercard in 2018, they were banned from ringside at all. They couldn't even enter the building. They were outside burning Bullet Club stuff and trying to hawk their merchandise.
Oh, that's right. That's the G1 with Taven versus Melvin Marty and Jay Lethal in the ladder match?
No, that was the year before.
Oh, okay. Who did he face then?
No one, because he was banned from the Supercard. They were all outside.
Oh, all of them were banned.
Yeah, all the kingdom was banned from that card.
I see. Well, yeah, I've been watching, just jumping all over YouTube looking for Taven matches, and I know the one that you and Andi both recommended to me was Taven versus Jay Lethal at the 17th anniversary. That is not on YouTube. I have to get it off of Fight TV, that app, unless you have any recommendations where I could find that match to watch it.
No, we saw it live. We were in the front row for that one.
Oh, you were there in person?
Yeah, it was. I've been taking him every year for his birthday. This is the first year we're going to skip. But we were front row when that happened, and he was upset that they didn't even mention a 60-minute time limit. And the Bully Ray, or I forgot who came out and said, time's up, time's up. Everybody was all pissed off.
Well, describe the match to me. How good was it?
There were spots all over the place, man. They were beating the crap out of each other. Did they use ladders? I don't remember, man.
I know that. Didn't Taven tweak his knee at the beginning of that match?
Not that one. I think he was still okay there.
Oh, okay.
He might have had to take some time off after that match, I believe, though. Because no, he didn't take no time off because Supercard was after that, and that's when he won the title with the three-way ladder match.
Well, I did look at his moveset. They had his moves on YouTube as well. I liked his frog splash. He does that pretty damn good. And then the climax is badass. I love how he hits that and he hooks the arm as well when he does it. That makes it more original, like more his own. Because I have seen other people do that move, but he does it the best I've ever seen. Because EC3 used to do that move, and Dean Ambrose does that move. Or John Moxley. Yeah. I also checked out Taven versus Rush, but I noticed that they call him Roosh. What the hell's up with that?
I guess that's how they say it in Mexico.
Ah,
okay. When I first seen Rush, or Roosh, I was calling him Rush too, because that's what I thought his name was. And they started pronouncing it like that, so that's how I knew his name would sound. So I'm guessing that's how they say it down in Mexico.
Well, that was
we were front row for that one too.
Oh, you were? Damn, you're getting front row seats everywhere. That's pretty badass, dude. Let me ask your son. Let me ask H Triple something. What is your favorite part of wrestling? Do you like the entrance? Do you like the actual match? Do you like the finish? Do you like afterwards the celebration? Do you like being in the crowd with all the crazy wrestling fans?
I just like the action.
Oh, you like the match itself?
Yeah.
Do your friends at school, do they like wrestling as well? And do you brag about it that you've been front row to a wrestling pay-per-view?
No.
No?
Only one likes wrestling, and that's it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know. When I was in school and I told people that I loved wrestling, they always say, "You know it's fake, right?" And it pissed me off big time. But to those people, I say it's entertainment. It's wrestling entertainment, just like movies are entertainment. So get over yourself.
That's exactly what I tell people.
Yeah. I also saw Taven take on Will Ospreay, and that was the very first time I've ever seen Will Ospreay wrestle. That dude's fucking intense, but I mean, freaking intense. And Taven did he did beat Will Ospreay in that matchup, but was that the only time they faced off, or did they have a rematch on a pay-per-view?
I don't recall seeing that match, but I have seen Will Ospreay in New Japan. That guy's crazy too, man.
I just saw Taven win the television championship off of Adam Cole. I didn't even know they faced each other. It's pretty cool jumping down this Ring of Honor hole because it like opened up a whole new world of wrestling for me to watch.
Yeah, because I believe Adam Cole was with the Kingdom first, and then he went to the Bullet Club, and then that's when he went to WWE for NXT.
Oh, so Taven took over as the King, right?
Yeah.
Was Adam Cole calling himself the King? Before?
I didn't watch it that far back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I started watching it pretty much when I found out AJ Styles was in it, because Ring of Honor really never airs in California, so you have to look for it in certain ways. And then there was this one channel that Ring of Honor came on, and I'm like, oh crap, AJ Styles is on that, I gotta watch it again.
Do you so you don't keep up with it regularly, currently?
Oh yeah, I do. I just haven't watched. Last 2 weeks ago, I think they had a pay-per-view, and those shows, those are the only ones I'm not caught up on yet. And then there's another one in a couple weeks, I think. So Matt Taven's out of action right now anyway, so it's pointless to watch it, especially since Vinny can't do anything with Matt Taven right now because that storyline's out because he hurt his ankle.
Did Vinny break his ankle?
No, he said it's been bothering him since August, and it just kept getting worse, and he said he had to take time away from wrestling to get it healed. He thought the diagnosis was going to be better than it was.
Oh, man.
Because I listened to his podcast, too, and that's how I found out.
Yeah, I actually stumbled upon that podcast as well because he posted it in his Instagram story that it's his favorite thing to do on Wednesday. So I was like, oh, well, I'm already watching his matches. I might as well listen to his podcast. And he's a pretty cool guy. I can see how him and Zanka used to hang out back in the day.
I think Danny Picard and Zanka would have more in common than Matt Taven and Zanka because Danny Picard says some crazy stuff out there.
Yeah, and I like how they cover a lot of subjects just like Jake and Zanka do on the After Party. They're not as explicit, but it's still a pretty good listen. Have you listened to every single episode of his podcast?
A couple episodes behind, but I started listening to it once I found out about it when it came out.
What are your thoughts on him holding up the 4 signal? Because, the 4 horsemen are the ones who pretty much took claim to that. Do you think it's cool, or do you think it's disrespectful, or what do you think about that?
I think it's cool. He's honoring past wrestling promotions and factions. So it doesn't bother me. Just like the Bullet Club does Too Sweet, NWO used to do it, so it doesn't bother me like it bothers who.
Yeah. I'm surprised Flair...
I'm surprised he hasn't tried to go after it.
I know. Flair's going after Becky for the man. He's not going after the Kingdom for the 4. Flair seems very litigious. But also on that podcast, I found out that he's really close friends with Mike Bennett and Tommaso Ciampa. I had no idea that they all knew each other and they're all close friends. That's pretty cool to know.
Mike Bennett used to be in the Kingdom with him. That's why him and Maria, they used to be in the Kingdom with Matt Taven.
Speaking of Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, I also just saw the Briscoes in action for the very first time. I saw the Kingdom versus the Briscoes, and my God, the Briscoes are brutal.
They're crazy, man.
Dude, could you imagine the Briscoes versus the Usos versus the Young Bucks in like a ladder match? That'd be like the greatest match of all time.
Yeah, because they had the Briscoes and Who was it? The Young Bucks. They always have ladder matches in Ring of Honor too.
Remember when he got blood from Briscoes?
Yeah, for his birthday last year. I forgot who the Briscoes were wrestling on the last year's anniversary show. I'm pretty sure it was for the titles, but Jay Briscoe was bloody. We were sitting front row, and his opponent punched him, and Briscoe had to move his head back because he got punched. Blood flew on me, man. Jay Briscoe's
shit.
blood.
Did it get on your shirt or your face or your arms? What happened?
It got on my face.
Oh, shit, dude.
So after the event was over, we were supposed to go eat, but I'm like, I need to go take a shower. And then go get some food.
Did you take a picture of your face?
Nah, because I wiped it off right away.
Yeah. That's pretty gross. Hey, but it gave you a cool story to tell.
Yeah.
So, I also noticed, I forgot to mention the Taven-Adam Cole match. Who was Taven's manager? He had like a top hat on. He looked really bouncy.
I don't know. You probably have to ask Andi on that one.
Yeah, damn. I just watched it, and it was like this really weird-looking dude. I don't know if he was a part
Was
of
he
the...
with Jay Lethal, too? If that's the guy I'm thinking of.
I only saw him with Taven. He helped Taven beat Adam Cole, basically.
Damn, I can't remember who I'm thinking of.
I bet you people who know who we're talking about are shouting at the computer when they're listening to this.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up right now. Andy would know for sure. I think he followed it better than me. Truth Martini, was it that
There
guy?
you go. Yep, Truth Martini. My God, that dude looks funny.
Yeah, because I knew he was with Jay Lethal, too. I couldn't remember his name.
Is he only a manager, or did he wrestle as well?
I think he might have wrestled. I'm not sure. Because I was in and out of Ring of Honor for a while there.
Yeah.
And I've been following it more closely the last 2 years since they came out with the Ring of Honor app. Like the WWE Network.
Yeah.
That's when I started following it more. Because I've been watching it on and off for 10 years. That's how I knew about the Briscoes. And they've always been my favorite tag team. And once the Bullet Club showed up there, that's when the Ring of Honor got more popular for everybody else.
Did you see what ever happened to Truth Martini? Is he still there?
I'm not sure. He might be in a backstage role. I'm not 100% positive about that, though. Yeah, because he had a book called The Truth, I believe.
Oh, shit.
It was called The House of Truth. He was with Jay Lethal. That's when Jay Lethal had to cut his hair off.
Man, I am way behind on all this history.
It looks like he left in 2016.
I didn't even know Jay Lethal had hair.
Yeah, I used to be a pretty faithful Impact watcher, too. That's why I know some of the guys from Ring of Honor, because they go back and forth.
Well, per your recommendation, besides the Matt Taven versus Jay Lethal match, what other highlights are there that I should be checking out that I'm not aware of?
Any of the ladder matches, like you were talking about, those ladder matches with the Briscoes, or any ladder match with the Young Bucks, and they had a ladder match with the Young Bucks and the Hardys the night before WrestleMania.
Oh, that's right.
They debuted in WWE again. They had a match that night. And that match was crazy.
Who won? The Bucks won, right?
Yeah, the Bucks had to win because I believe the Hardys had the titles that time, and they were going to WWE, so they had to lose them.
Damn, little did we know the next night would be the most memorable night in WrestleMania history, besides the streak ending.
Because social media ruined that for me, because I kept hearing rumors about the Hardys coming back, and I heard that the Hardys had like a party down the street from WrestleMania, a show with the fans, and the WWE car came and picked them up and put towels over their faces so nobody could see who they were. And we were watching the show. I'm like, man, the Hardys aren't going to show up. And out comes the New Day saying, oh, we got 4 tag teams in this match. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Was it a New Day? And then the Hardys music hit. I was like, oh, crap.
The New Day did a really good job of fooling us, too, because remember, they were in their gear. And they're like, oh, yeah, there's a 4th team in this match. And then when the Hardy Boys music hit, like it was me, my wife, my niece, and her boyfriend. Like, all of us jumped on our feet. I got goosebumps. Like, it was incredible. That was an awesome moment in WrestleMania.
You were at that one, right?
No. I was watching at home. I was at the WrestleMania where Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank on Roman and Brock.
Oh, okay.
That was a very fun WrestleMania.
That was a good twist.
So you guys were in the front row to a couple pay-per-views. Did you guys ever make it on TV? Like, can we see you in the audience?
Yeah. The last one in September, Death Before Dishonor, we were right behind the announcers. It was me, my son, and my brother. You can see my brother more because he's a buffer guy. And then you can notice me because I'm wearing my Chicago Cubs hat. That one. And then the other one with the Briscoes, you could see us a couple of times. You know Bandito?
No, I don't. Who is that?
There's a wrestler in Ring of Honor called Bandito. He came around the ring in his blue sombrero and his mask. Because he wears a mask too. Coming around hugging kids. And he hugged Hunter.
Oh.
So you can see him there.
Were you excited, Hunter?
Any interaction this kid gets with a wrestler, he gets it up. Yeah. There's, I know this is Matt Taven appreciation, but we went to a Raw or a SmackDown by our house, a TV taping. Maybe it was in Anaheim. I can't remember, but Dean Ambrose, he comes out and he's getting fans high fives, and we were by the Titantron, like 4 rows back. And my older son, he used to like going with us, but he doesn't anymore. He ran down there. He got a high five from Dean Ambrose, John Moxley. He was all happy, and then Hunter, he didn't make it down there because he was going to jump over the seats, and I said it's okay to do it, and he didn't want to do it, and he missed the opportunity. So he was a little upset about that when he was crying. He didn't get Dean Ambrose a high five.
And then there's that one time where I high-fived Matt Hardy and what was that one guy, Jason Jordan, and then...
Yeah, we were at the front row for another Raw in our area, and Jeff Hardy gave him a high five because we were closer to the front row that time.
Do any of the superstars ever let you guys pose for photos? Like, do they pose for photos with you?
Well, I didn't know about that WWE parents thing until you told me about it. So we never went to those. But not really on a live show. They won't. I heard if you go to a house show, they're more open to that because the cameras aren't on them. Shawn
Michaels and RVD, when the house show was over here in Fresno, they went around the entire barricade, and like all the fans that were sitting in the back, like me, we bum rushed the barricade so we can get a high five, and we got a high five from RVD, Shawn Michaels, and Batista.
That's cool.
They're really nice. I mean, the faces, they have to do that to, protect their image and stuff. But it was funny. John Cena, one night it was a SmackDown house show, and I did the same thing. I bum rushed the barricade trying to get a high five from John Cena. He skipped me and reached over my shoulder and high-fived the kid and kept walking. I was like, you dick.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that with Mustafa Ali, too?
No, it was TJP.
Oh, yeah, TJP.
The cruiserweights.
Oh, he
got
skipped
the
you?
Sharpie and we had a title, and then he gave us our marker and said, "Oh yeah, here."
No, because we were standing on the side with our poster, and the cruiserweights were out. There was probably 4 or 5 of them out there. TJP was the main one that upset us because he knocked the marker out of my son's hand. He noticed he knocked the marker out of my son's hand, so he comes and picks it up and hands it to him and walks away. He doesn't even bother signing the poster for my son. He was a little upset about that one.
Wow, that's kind of messed up.
Even the people behind us were like, "Man, that guy's a jerk."
Well, if you ever do get a chance to go to one of those WWE appearances, I recommend it because you do get like a little 2-minute interaction with them, and they're always nice. Even the heels, like I remember when Mr. Kennedy was in WWE, he was a heel, but he was really nice to all of us, and it's always fun to get their autograph, and you know, you never know, one day it might be worth something, and plus you got the story to tell as well.
Yeah, I got last year for his birthday when we went, I took pictures, and then we went for my birthday in September, so I had those pictures developed, and we asked the wrestlers to sign them when we took pictures with them, and they signed those, so I just put those on his wall from the other day too.
And then Dalton Castle gave me the one he had, and he said both of them. Remember that in Dalton Castle?
Yeah, Dalton Castle was cool to meet and greet because my son was reading Harry Potter, the first book, when we went to meet Dalton, and Dalton was just talking to him about the book and asking if it was good. I recorded that whole thing. It was pretty cool.
You guys said that you were in front row at a couple ROH pay-per-views. Is it like WWE when they the first couple rows have the souvenir seats, or are they just regular seats?
They're just regular seats. That's what I noticed.
Oh, okay. Do you ever...
yeah, but their barricades are just like the AEW ones, the little metal ones. They're not real barricades like WWE, so if a wrestler gets smashed into it, you're sitting front row, you're going to get hit by it.
Did you ever bring signs?
Just that one sign last year that I took a picture with Matt Taven of, we put up there.
Yeah, because I could imagine if you guys are in the front row and you're holding up signs, the people behind you might get pissed off.
Yeah, I was trying to get it on TV a couple times. He was even pointing the sign at Matt Taven, but Matt Taven didn't see it. But when we took the picture with Matt Taven, he's like, he liked his sign.
I've never been front row, so I envy you. How were the people around you? The surrounding fans, were they cool or were they jerks?
The Death Before Dishonor we didn't have a problem for, but the anniversary show last year is 17, I believe.
Yeah.
There's these kids roaming around. Dang, going in front of us.
They were in the raptor seats, and they kept coming down, blocking his view, and he was getting mad. And ROH ambassador Kerry Silkin came over there and had to tell them to go back to their seats, but they kept doing it still.
And then Bubba Ray scared the heck out of those kids.
Yeah, then Bully Ray, was cutting a promo, and those kids came down there, and they were booing him. And he says, "What, you don't think I'll go down there and smack a kid's face or something like that?" They ran back to their seats.
Matt Taven also said the same thing to those kids.
Yeah, they were booing Matt Taven too, and he said something about the same thing about don't trust. I'll smack a kid or something like that too.
Hunter, what's your favorite thing about Matt Taven?
Everything.
Probably the entrance.
Yeah, that entrance is cool.
I like his theme music. You can buy it on iTunes. I think I'm going to do that. It looks like we have a third with us. He is the main event from Instagram Questions. He just uploaded his brand new episode of Steel Real Pregame on the Steel Real After Party YouTube show channel. Andi, with an I. Are you there, my friend?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry it took so long. Processing on YouTube is a pain in the butt.
Yeah, tell me about it. Especially if you're not connected to Wi-Fi, it takes forever. So we're just talking about Matt Taven here, and some of the matches I have seen of his have been the G1 match with the ladder match against Melvin, Marty Scurll, and Jay Lethal.
That was a good one. WrestleMania weekend, where he finally got his big moment. That was awesome.
It was incredible. The match was pretty damn impressive. And then I was telling PeterWayneKent about his match with Adam Cole back in the day when he got the TV championship off of Adam Cole. And what was that dude's name again, Peter? The manager?
Oh, crap. Martini.
Yeah, Truth Martini. Can you shine the light on Truth Martini, Andy? Who is this guy?
Oh no, that was before my time. I assume that's when not Adam Cole, when Matt Taven still had long hair and he was still wearing like brief trunks.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he had long hair.
Yeah, that was a little bit before my Taven time. Truth Martini, I got nothing on him. So I'm sorry to let you guys down.
Well, me and Peter just.
Oh, I did too.
Me and Peter.
I knew about Truth Martini though.
We just waxed poetic about Matt Taven for 30 minutes. So now it is your turn, my friend. Tell us about your love for Matt Taven.
It started when I got getting big into ROH and around like 2015. When I moved to Washington, I was able to finally watch it on like 2 a.m. right after Saturday Night Live on local cable, on local TV. And the first matches I got to watch were they were live at pre-taped live at like some baseball field in Brooklyn for like a minor league team. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Young Bucks. I finally got to see the Young Bucks outside of TNA. And then they started beefing with the Kingdom, and when Vinny Marseglia, the Horror King, and TK O'Ryan were like still getting their feet wet, that's when I started to follow Matt Taven. But my love for Matt Taven blossomed with the whole conspiracy stuff when they would win something and or they would lose and their foot was on the rope. And he was calling out ROH for the conspiracy. That's when I really started falling in love with him.
That's right, because I was asking Peter earlier where the Kingdom conspiracy came from, and he explained it to me. How many Matt Taven shirts do you own, Andy?
I'm very limited with wrestling shirts, so I'm a shitty Matt Taven fan, and I have zero.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Yeah, I got my Kingdom conspiracy shirt on.
Nice. I always get buyer's remorse when I put the thing in the cart, and then I see the shipping cost, and I was like, oh my god. You know how much beer I could buy with that shipping cost?
That's right, man. That's a necessity. I think the same way. Like whenever I'm at a live event or a house show, and I go to the merch stand, I'm like, oh man, there's a championship belt, $200. Oh shit.
But I will say this: I did fork up the cash to pay for meet and greet for Taven when I went to go see ROH live. So
yeah, I remember that. Can you talk about that whole experience?
I was like, so my buddy and I, we shotgunned a few Busch Lattes before we went in, and then we were lucky enough to get in as the doors were opening, and we were greeted by Mandy Leone. If you don't know Mandy Leone, check her out. She's top notch. And then people were like scrambling around trying to find their seats, and there was a guy handing out meet and greet passes, and I jumped on that really fast, and I got my Kingdom one, and that's the first place I went. I got up there, and I was like, I had a beer in my hand, and I was like nervous as hell, and I was like, I don't even know what to say, and I was just like, I'm here representing the Still Real After Party. And then he was like, oh, Still Real After Party. You must know Zanka then. I was like, oh yeah, love that guy. He's like, yeah, we go way back. Well, I'm going to have to send him a fruit basket.
Oh, that's where that came from.
Yeah, he told me he was going to have to send Zanka a fruit basket. because I was representing Still Real After Party and paying for his meet and greet. And he threw the title right on my shoulders. And he's like, come on, man, take a picture. I was like, you mind if I hold my beer? And he's like, yeah, bring that shit. And, it was a really cool experience. It was like the first meet and greet I ever paid for, so Matt Taven popped my cherry.
Was the title heavy?
No, it wasn't too heavy. It was big. That ROH Championship is very beautiful. I really wish I got to hold his Conspiracy Championship, because that championship is badass.
Oh, that's the purple one?
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's cool.
this title was it was decent. It wasn't too heavy.
If you had some spare cash, would you get the purple title? Is it for sale on the website?
Yeah, they put it on sale for a little bit. They actually had one at the merch table.
How much was it? 200?
I think it was $230.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, I wasn't able to watch Jay Lethal versus Matt Taven because it's not on YouTube anywhere. I guess you have to pay for the Fight TV version. I heard it was awesome. PeterWayneKent was there in the front row. I know it went to a draw, but is there anything from that match that you remember that you could tell me?
Just the whole build up to the end is just what really got me going. When Matt Taven does his over the top jump, he does his little swanton jump, that little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty much it's poetic, it's beautiful, and he always lands it nice. And I would say that was the highlight for me. But the letdown is what left a sour taste in my mouth when the draw came up.
I'm very grateful that you guys this podcast and you guys made me aware of Matt Taven, and I was telling Peter earlier that my New Year's resolution was to get to know Matt Taven and get to watch his library. And doing that, I was able to open a whole new world of wrestling that I had no idea about, Ring of Honor. And it's cool to go back and watch all the previous superstars that were there back in the day who are now in WWE. And it was my first time seeing Will Ospreay was when Taven and Ospreay tangled. That was a pretty cool match. What other match do you recommend, Andi, for me to check out that is online?
His title match loss to Roosh was pretty good.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I definitely check that out. And then,
I was pissed off. I was flipping that guy off that day.
Yeah, that is one of the. It was a heartbreaking match to watch, and I was even DMing Zinka about that one. I was like, yeah, God, it's Roosh is on a roll and he's unstoppable. I'm kind of nervous for Taven on this one. And then he said, "How dare you?" He said I wasn't a true fan. But
yeah, I messaged Zinka too that day. I'm like, hey man, is he leaving? I was like, oh shit, he's leaving. That's why he had to drop the title, man. And Zinka goes, I don't think so, but just keep watching. And then we went to the next night. He gave his speech that he was staying.
Do you guys?
Yeah, and unfortunately, he had to take the loss to Vinny because he was injured. So, but
yeah,
I was wondering.
I'm just curious to see what TK's gonna do now.
You don't follow him on Instagram?
He's just posting a lot of weird pictures of him without a person without an army type stuff, or I can't remember what it is, but he's wearing cowboy stuff and everything like that.
Yeah, he's calling himself the El Americano now. He's by himself.
Hmm.
Do you guys know the origin of Melvin?
I know it was a word that I heard in the 90s. People would be called a dweeb, would be a Melvin. But I don't know where he came up. I don't know how he came up with it. Maybe that's where he heard it from. But up to you. I don't know. What do you say, PeterWayneKent?
I agree with you. And on the first picture he signed for my son, because he was wearing the Villain Enterprises shirt when he took the first picture with him, and he put, "You're cool. Don't be a Melvin like Marty," or something like that on his picture.
It's funny.
So I went back in the archive of the Steel Rail After Party, and I found the Taven interview they did. It was Valentine's 2018, and it was funny because Zanka, he was asking him about what he was doing in Ring of Honor at the time, and then he goes, "Well, the only notes I have here are about wrestling and who in the locker room has the biggest wang." Do you remember that, Andy?
I remember that episode.
Yeah. I remember I submitted a question too, and it was way too late. But I thought it would be a good one. That I asked him, marry, fuck, or kill Vinny, TK, or Mike Bennett, because he used to tag with Mike Bennett in New Japan. And I really disappointed I didn't get that question in.
What? Okay, let me ask both of you. If either of you could ask Matt Taven one question, because I have mine, what would it be? And you guys can take some time to think about it, because I'll tell you mine. The question I would ask Matt Taven is, Zanka has a ton of stories, and they're all entertaining. However, we have never heard a story from one of his friends. And since they used to know each other back in the day, I would love to know a Zanka story that we have not heard. Like, tell us something we don't know about Zanka would be my question. What about you guys?
Immediately comes to my mind, I would request to ask his forgiveness for sending him a BS offer on some of his merch. He gave Caprice Coleman a Melvin hat in an interview, and I commented on something on the Instagram post, like I'd pay to have that or whatever, and then he told me to DM him an offer, and I didn't know what to offer him, and I said $30, and he says, I sold something else for like almost $1,000. Please send me any serious inquiries. And I was totally embarrassed from that. So like, if I could ask him one thing, is that's forgiveness.
Jeez. What about you, Peter?
I can't think of one because I'm not that good.
I know I interviewed you, and I know your real name. You said it on that podcast, but can you refresh our memories what your actual name is? Michael. Okay. You see, I call everybody by their screen name from the Steel Rail After Party, so I mean, I called Francois Moussois. So you can't think of a question, Michael?
Nah.
Huh. Well.
Oh, because I just asked him when you're gonna get the title back, I guess.
I know that he does like doing his podcast, and he's really big into conspiracy theories. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's what I should ask him.
He likes that whole don't fuck with cats, that documentary. Did you hear him on his latest?
I haven't listened to the episode yet.
And his buddy, what is his buddy's name? Danny Picard?
Yeah.
He likes he exposed baseball. He exposed that they're cheating. Did you hear that, Andy?
No, but I've definitely heard conspiracies about baseball, so I can see why he said that.
Well, it's a pretty good podcast. It's funny. I'm picking and choosing several of those episodes to listen to, but he has made a fan out of me now. I'm glad I got this opportunity to get to know Matt Taven and see his matches and get to know him. He's like such a cool, down to earth dude on his podcast. You wouldn't never guess he's a world champion wrestler who's had so many cool experiences because he's still so young. I think I'm actually older than him. But
I know he's like very like on his Twitter. He has his own like following. Like I follow him, and then I just get some of his stuff from his fans, and he's got a lot of like strong female followers.
Oh, I bet.
That, like would probably would probably kick all three of our asses if we didn't do him justice. And thinking about it, I remember a match. It wasn't anything big or anything like that. It was just a normal New Japan match. It was him and Mike Bennett with Maria versus Doc Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because Carl Anderson,
Andi,
that whole match. Yeah.
We just got a run-in. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the 2019 Ring of Honor Wrestler of the Year. He is a multiple-time champion in multiple promotions, including Ring of Honor champion from Boston, Massachusetts. The King, Matt Taven, has joined the After Party Hangover. Taven, you there? You got to tap on the red mic, the little icon. There you go.
All right, I'm unmuted.
There you go, Matt Taven.
I'm unmuted, and I'm Matt Taven.
Welcome to the After Party Hangover, my friend. We got two super fans here that would like...
I mean, honestly, it's because I was sold on how big of Matt Taven fans there were that I ended up joining this go-to-meeting, which I've never done. I had to download an app that I've never downloaded. It makes me do a lot, but for big fans, true Matt Taven fans, I'll go to the end of the earth.
Oh, you bet, man. We have Michael, a.k.a. PeterWayneKent, on here, who's attended some Ring of Honor pay-per-views, front row. He's met you, got your autograph, and we also have Andi, who has met you as well. Go ahead, you guys. I don't want to keep Taven too long because he's, he's a busy guy. Go ahead and ask whatever you want.
You got my son. You want to ask him something real quick? Come on, Hunter.
Everyone's nervous. I didn't tell him about this, Taven, so they're surprised that I brought you on here.
I'm not good at keeping surprises, so you're a better man than me.
Ask him something. Hurry up.
You can ask me whatever you want. I won't bite. I'm in a whole nother state. I'm in the go-to-meeting. I don't think you can bite go-to-meeting.
We're excited to show him your poster at Death Before Dishonor, and now you can't even say hi to him. I was the guy that had your podcast and the After Party podcast poster.
Oh, in Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. I remember exactly who I'm talking to then. Thank you. And you know what? You supported two great things, not just Matt Taven, but a bunch of, handsome fellas over at that after party. They do all right. Not as good as Taven.
Well, Matt Taven, since we got you here, and we do know that you're friends with Zanka, one of the hosts of the Steel Row After Party, I was curious.
Way back.
He has a ton of stories, very entertaining stories that he tells on the podcast, but we wanted to get a story from a friend of his, maybe something we don't know about Zanka. Do you have any funny stories about Zanka that you can recall?
Do you know Zanka tried to wrestle, right?
Oh, yeah. He got pedigreed by some fat guy, then he quit.
I'm pretty sure I was there for, his one and only match. He was dressed, like any untrained wrestler. I'm pretty sure he had a rock cut-off T-shirt, one of the Brahma Bull ones. So you knew he was good and professional as soon as you saw that cut-off tee. But, he gave it his damnedest, and I honestly thought that he would come back for more, that there might have been a little bit of a future there. But, he was more fit to be behind the microphone, it seems, than in the ring. I don't know. Maybe in another lifetime we can get Zanka back in there, or we can see what potential might have been lost from him exiting the wrestling world.
Well, that's awesome, man. Thank you for joining us. Andi, did you have anything you want to ask Matt Taven?
Yeah, I just, I want to beg forgiveness for the lowball offer I gave you on the hat.
What was my official offer?
I just offered you $30 because I didn't even know where to start, and it seemed like I felt like I insulted you. And you're like, only serious inquiries, please.
Oh, you know what? That sounds like typical me. You know what I mean? If you're not going to flatter me with all the money in your bank account, I'm probably going to move on pretty quickly.
I would love to throw my wife under the bus for telling me to start with 30, because I was going to throw 100 out there, but she's like, $30, I don't know. So I'm throwing my wife
Yeah,
under the
you know what? If you threw 100 out there, I probably would have replied with the same thing. I'm just kidding. You know how much money it took me to get on this? You don't even want to know.
Yeah, I bet Mangria had to do a couple dirty deeds to get it done.
You know what I mean? He owes me from way back. I just added it on to the debt.
Well, he owns my soul, and I do need knee pads now to pay rent, so it's been pretty rough lately.
Oh, my goodness. Those poor knees, you only got one pair of them your entire life, so don't wear them out for 1 month. You got a lifetime of rent to pay.
My wrestling career is over.
You and me both. You and me both. No, I'm kidding. I'll be back. I'll get this cast off soon.
Well,
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
My son has a question for you. Come on.
Go ahead.
When are you going to bring Travel Taven back?
Oh, what a great question. You know what? I have footage from like the last year that I've been sitting on. And since I'm doing nothing but sitting on the couch these days, Travel Taven will probably be back sooner than later. But don't tell anyone. You can't let that secret out. That's just between us. I might be finishing editing one. I don't know, this weekend. Maybe next week one will be posted. This is secret information. So you better thank your lucky stars that you know some good peeps that got me on the line with you. But now you can't spill the beans, okay? You got to keep that between us.
All right.
Well, Taven, I wanted to let you know that my New Year's resolution was to get to know you better. And so I jumped down the YouTube rabbit hole and been watching all your matches. And I've been recently listening to your Take a Bump podcast with you and Danny Picard. And you said you're a Wu-Tang fan.
Oh, have you watched the new Wu-Tang on Hulu series?
I will eventually, but tell me about it.
Oh, if you're a Wu-Tang fan, they didn't even get to like You Got or anything yet in the series. But if you're a Wu-Tang fan, think of all the important kind of founding steps that form the group and stuff that I didn't know. That for any Wu-Tang fan, you have to go watch this series. I'm not much of like you got to go watch TV and spend your life indoors, but this one I'm going to say is a must watch.
Well, coincidentally, Taven, on the After Party Hangover show, I always give everyone their Wu-Tang name because they have a Wu-Tang name generator app. And
what's my name?
I tapped in Matt Taven, and your Wu-Tang name is very strange. It is Bruce Americana Gilded.
That's going to be my new Twitter handle by the end of the day.
There you go, man. When you start your rap career, that's your name from now on in the Wu-Tang.
Yeah, no. That sounds super marketable. I'll definitely use that when I start my rap career.
Well, I gotta say that podcast is very entertaining. I subscribe to it. I love the Ribera jacket story you told, where you brought the tag titles with you into there, and I love the relationship you had with Mike Bennett and Tommaso Ciampa. I had no idea you were really close friends with them. That's really cool to learn.
I'm actually currently backstage at a Northeast Wrestling show, and so many guys have come up from, the Boston area, have come through Northeast Wrestling, and you just form these bonds that last a lifetime. Between Hanson and myself, Tommaso, Eddie Edwards, Bennett, obviously, on to TK, Vinny, well, not Vinny anymore, F that guy, Flip, but we all came from this area. And we all traveled together, and it's I think there's something to be said of the guys that come from New England because there's such a stacked talent pool here that it's very hard to kind of like bust out of the group. And, you form bonds with those guys that are out there busting and trying to bust out of this area, and they last for a lifetime. So those guys, they'll always be brothers to me.
It's a very entertaining podcast. I will continue to listen and ask Taven anything. You will get a future question from an @Mangria Fueled.
Yeah, please. I'm waiting for it because for some reason I have a feeling that the question's going to be extremely, extremely strange, and those are the only questions that I like to answer.
Well, you know how we do at the Steel Row After Party. We're a bunch of crazy nincompoops, but we're a tight community here.
Well, saying the word nincompoop alone lets me know that you must have great questions up your sleeve. So, from one nincompoop to another, I'm looking forward to them.
All righty. Well, Michael and Andy, do you have any closing comments you want to ask Taven or tell him?
Hey, how long till you come back to the ring?
And that's a very, very common question these days. But currently, I have a hard cast on my ankle, and until I get this thing off, which is a little bit more time, I won't really know the answer to that. But believe me, I'm ready to get back. I'm working out like I'm going to be back any day, and it might not be any day, but as soon as I'm ready to go, there's no place I'd rather be than in the ring.
I saw your Instagram story the other day when you went to the grocery store.
Yeah, it's hard to do a lot of simple things these days with your hands filled with crutches. So I have a purse now for my crutch, because my hands themselves are occupied, and I get to use any sort of handicap cart, parking space, or anything that will let my life be a little bit more convenient than it is at the moment.
Cool.
Andy?
Yeah, I have a really obscure question. If in all your time of wrestling and all the merchandise you've seen for yourself, the Matt Taven brand, have you ever come across any fan-made merchandise tried to give to you? Like maybe a Matt Taven hair doll, Matt Taven homemade shirt, or maybe their own prototype Matt Taven wrestling action figure?
I've been lucky enough to get a lot of fan art. I've seen a lot of handmade, a lot of homemade shirts and stuff like that. A couple of dolls, but I would have to say there's a couple of pieces of art actually that have been given to me that I still hold on to. That I don't know, the fact that anyone goes out of their way to make me into some sort of art form, I'm always flattered for. So I've definitely held on to a lot of really cool pieces of fan art over the years.
Cool. And I got one more question. What is your most coveted collectible item? Doesn't have to be wrestling related, just in general.
Oh, that's a great question. So when I was a kid, and still to this day, I'm a huge basketball fan, and I have a lot of very cool basketball sports memorabilia. I've read Arbach's autograph, but I have one piece of memorabilia that I don't think anyone will ever buy from me because I don't know if it's worth anything. But when I was a 10-year-old kid, Michael Jordan tossed me his Gatorade towel at the Boston Garden, and I held on to that and probably sniffed his sweat for the next month. And it's still in a plastic Ziploc safe keep, preserved from any air bag at my family's house up in New Hampshire. One day I'll have to go back and get it. But when I think of any of the things I've collected over the year, Michael Jordan's sweaty towel will probably be number one on that list.
Yeah, it's priceless.
Well, alrighty, Matt Taven, thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate your time. Hopefully one day I'll get the opportunity to interview you one-on-one, get to ask you all my regular dorky questions, but I don't want to keep you here any longer than you have to be. I know you're a busy guy. So do you want to plug anything before you leave? Because I'm going to be plugging your podcast from now on.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much that you guys had me on. Thank you guys for being such huge Matt Taven fans as well. But, tell Zanka, I told him that, he's a Melvin, and he has to hit me up, and we're going to link up sometime soon. And, me and you can do this one-on-one without Zanka as well. We don't need that smelly Melvin.
Well, all righty, Taven. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, later, brother. Thank you, guys. Bye. Have a great day. Later. That's cool.
Well, did we just blow your minds, Michael and Andy?
What the hell, man?
I was so nervous, dude.
My son left. My son left, and right when you said Matt Taven's online, I had to run to the door and call him to come back.
Yeah, I heard you shout for him.
Just trying to get everybody to be on at the same time made me so nervous, and I was messaging him on Twitter as you guys were talking. I was like, "Are you still coming on?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I'll come on right now." It was pretty cool, man. Thank you to Zanka for arranging this. This has been a week in the making, and I'm glad I got to surprise you guys with Matt Taven.
Yeah, and then now I feel like an asshole for like lack of Taven knowledge.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Andy. No.
I didn't become a real fan of his until a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say too about a program I remember him against Bullet Club, Carl Anderson, and then he showed up, and then that's like the only like real good knowledge I had on him.
Well, now that we're closing out the after party hangover, do either of you want to plug something? I know, Andy, you got your new episode today. Michael, do you want to plug anything before we leave?
Just my Instagram, PeterWayneKent.
Go ahead and show Taven some love and thank him for being on here with us. Andy, you want to plug your podcast?
Yeah, go ahead. I just before I jumped on this podcast, I uploaded on YouTube, and I sent it to Jake. The Real Pregame episode 2, debuting a new gimmick called Fucker Fight. I do that with Monica. It's really fun. We have a good time with it. Get a little appearance at the end from that wrestling guy apologizing for his shitty antics for the last month or two. And there's a giveaway alert, guys. So if you listen to the podcast and listen to the end, hit me up. Give me some ideas for the show, and if I use your idea, I'll send you one of the extra stickers I have with the Broken Skull IPA.
Well, that sounds good. I can't wait to listen. We have Worlds Collide today. We got the Royal Rumble tomorrow. Don't forget to check Instagram Live, Hall of Famers, because I will be drawing numbers for both Rumbles for all of us. Well, I know.
What happens if our number doesn't win?
If your number wins, the number I pick for you wins in the Men's Royal Rumble, on the next Instagram question segment for the Still Real After Party, you have to hashtag whoever won has a big dong.
Okay, that's good.
And for the women, if I pick your number for the Women's Royal Rumble and your number wins, it's going to be the winner is drowning in pussy.
I love it. Are we just doing this in a story, or is this got to be a full-on post?
Oh, whenever you ask your Instagram question on Tuesday, just hashtag. Just add it to your hashtag list that you put on there regularly.
Hey, that's easier than posting it on Instagram stories, Andy.
I'll post it on the Instagram story because Jake and Zanka don't like to read my hashtags.
Well, you know, there's 13 of us now, so one of us has to win this damn thing.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, it should be exciting. Thank you guys for spending your Saturday with me. Thank you again to Matt Taven for his run-in. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, all hail Linda's Bush. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. This is my first time doing the solo round review of the Still Real After Party episode number 107, The Royal Crumble. Well, I got to start out with the LOL line of the episode for me, of course, was when they were talking about when Otis caught Mandy. And they were talking about how Otis was doing the tongue thing. And Jake said, yeah, I think Mandy's getting into it now. And then Zenka said, yeah, she got a little soggy bread downstairs. That was pretty fucking funny. And another one of their the LOL lines for me was when they were talking about Zenka being distracted, and Zenka goes, what, I'm drumming? And then Jake goes, you can't drum. And this is what Zenka said.
Drummer, you're a bass player. Dude, I'd fucking double bass motherfucker out of the motherfucker. I found out that without...
That was pretty good. They did a lot of football talk at the beginning for the Super Bowl, which is next Sunday. I'll root for the 49ers, but the Chiefs with Mahomes have been unstoppable, so more than likely the Chiefs will win. But since my grandpa's favorite team was the 49ers, I'll go ahead and go with the little bit of honoring my grandfather and rooting for the local team, the 49ers. for that. But, I mean, it should be a really good game. They're two good teams. Hopefully the halftime show doesn't suck balls. And then they got into a debate about Big Show versus Kane. Who is the better big man? Well, I have thoughts on this. Zanka said Big Show. Jake said Kane. They both had different reasons. But in my opinion, hands down, Big Show. Kane, like they said, he does have the character. And he had a lot of memorable moments in the Attitude Era. But I feel like his moments were more to promote other people. Like, Kane's entire story was to make Undertaker's story stronger of his back character. And then the story between Kane and Stone Cold. And then we got the Ministry and then all that bullshit. But Kane never beat Hulk Hogan. And that's what Big Show did. Big Show has way more memorable victories than Kane does. And Big Show, like they said, has more of an ensemble of moves, as where Kane is, he's got the back body drop, the choke slam, the clothesline from hell, tombstone, big boot, and sitting up like the Undertaker. Whereas Big Show, he always kind of added moves to his stuff, and now he's in great shape, and he was the first ever person to beat Brock Lesnar. A little bit of trivia for you. That was a trivia question to Jake, I believe, on one of the Chop Shops. So my vote is for Big Show. Big Show, way more victories, important victories. His gimmick is, well, it's him, basically. He's just a big giant person. And I believe he's done more with that than Kane really has. Because Kane is, he's got like a ton of tag team titles, but Big Show has more world titles, so that's my opinion. And I got a kick out of Jake doing the John C. Reilly line from Talladega Nights. I went ahead and put that in my Instagram stories, trying to match him up. It was really difficult, though, because John C. Reilly was going one speed and Jake was going faster. It was hard to sync up, but Zanka shocked the Steel Real After Party world. I know he doesn't think it's a big deal, but it is a big deal. Zanka is done with Lars Sullivan, a.k.a. Mitch Bennett. What? I can't believe it. We're not going to get any more Lars fun with Zanka and the scenarios. I mean, we try to pitch him in our questions, but I think he's done. That porn just gave him brain damage, I guess, and it's over for Lars. Lars has been locked in the vault in the deepest, darkest basement of Zanka's brain. So, I mean, I bet you he'll be over with Lars again when Lars comes back, because Lars has got to come back. I like this episode a lot. I listened to it several times. There is a LOL line at the end of the episode that I will say, but I will not post on Instagram. Zanka says he sucked more dick than any fags in history. I guess he's referencing, putting over people on the podcast. I thought that was really funny. But Jake did a call to arms to the Steel Real After Party. And he asked that someone do Al Pacino impersonation as a flight attendant. So hold on a second. Let me clear my voice. Get ready. Let's see if I can do this justice or not. Oh, attention passengers. I'm going to be coming by with the drink cart. Keep your fucking hands and knees by your seat, because I don't want you to accidentally get a groping on my little friend. Ooh-ah. Because I got a tight pair of booty shorts on, but I don't mind if you watch as I pass by, because I got a great ass. Ooh-ah. Yeah, that's the best I got right there. Well, now let's do the plugs. I want to thank everybody for this week's Hangover shows. From the breakdown of AEW and NXT with Julius_Caesar. He's the man. Go follow him on Instagram at Julius_Caesar. Andi with an I, the main event, at Andi_ with _and __. and PeterWayneKent at PeterWayneKent on Instagram. Go ahead and follow both of them. And a special thank you to H Triple, Peter Wayne Kent's son. Thank you for telling and sharing all your Matt Taven stories. And a very, very special thank you to Matt Taven and Zanka. Thank you for arranging this to appear on the After Party Hangover. I'm honored. I'm humbled. Thank you so much for appearing and giving us some of your time. I really do appreciate it. Listen to the Take a Bump podcast on all your podcast formats. Personally, I go with iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever. But, yeah, let's do the normal plugs now. Instagram, it's the Still Real After Party podcast is at Still Real to Us. For Jake and Zanka, at After Party Jake, at After Party Zanka. You want to go ahead and follow them on Facebook. You search for the Still Real After Party. You hit that like button. You can drop your Facebook questions every Tuesday. Cover up your old nips with the Cynic Mafia shirt, the After Party Hangover shirt, a couple of my faves, the Hail Caesar shirt. Yeah, like I said, shop.spreadshirt.com/stillrealafterparty. Thank you to everybody who listened this week. Thank you to all my guests. And, ladies and gentlemen, as always, all hail Linda's Bush.